Hi everyone, welcome to Naturally Immune for Life. It's a gloomy gray day here, and we're expecting a rainy week. I'm sure the flowers will be happy, but I'm ready for summer sun. I don't know about you, but I sure am. So today, the post is going to be about a specific probiotic, Florastor, which is Saccharomyces boulardii. And this is a very well studied probiotic. And I'm going to tell you why you will love it. And one of my new, I would say, a new recommendation. I think because of what this particular probiotic does specifically, and because I know personally of its effectiveness, um, I've had it in my stash. I probably bought it for some sort of stomach bug or another. And I just realized, I should probably use that up because it's been a while. And then I realized this is really, I'm really noticing the effects of this. So, for that reason, I decided to do a little research on this particular strain, even though I knew about it. I knew that it was recommended for specific conditions like C. difficile, and it's recommended for people who have been on antibiotics. It's recommended for chemo patients and those who may have had their gut or immune system wiped out for whatever reason. And I'm going to suggest it's probably a very good thing if you've been on antibiotics, if you've had a poor diet, which will increase bad bacteria, and or if you have recently had some sort of stomach bug or another that led to um, intestinal or digestion issues, this might be something that you will find really helpful. And since we already know that improper microbiota development leads to proliferation of bad bacteria, which you actually can't overcome with diet, um, this might be something you would want to consider before beginning any oral natural immune therapy. So, for that reason, I decided to do a little research and wrote this post for you. And there is something I would like to show you after, well, I'll do it before we begin. So I'm going to share screen here. And these are some new additions to the site that I've made. Let me make sure that it is going to switch here, where you can probably, I can't see let me see what I'm sharing here. Yeah, I can stay on this page. So up here at the top, I've written my three main topics. Whether I'm going to re-add medicinal foods or not, I don't know. But I have SIBO recipe, colostrum, mammal milk, probiotics, and kefir. So if a post is about colostrum, it will be under here. If it's about probiotics, it'll be under here. And this one is under here. In these are blog post categories. And in addition, they will be on the home page On the home page, I have just a basic overview so that people can familiarize themselves with what this is about and learn about it directly on the home page. I've added about natural oral immune therapy, and I would suggest clicking on that top link as well as the two links underneath, and you can learn about GCMAF and about Bravo yogurt. And this is what this is developed from, and that's very important that you understand that this is something that has and is still being clinically studied, especially in Japan. So you can visit their site and learn more about their current studies and clinical trials. And then I have the mission statement, the blog, a library, and as I said, I don't know if I'm going to add medicinal foods again, but I'll keep it as an option. I have managed to transfer everything from Alternavita to the new site, so this time I didn't lose my entire work for the last 10 years, thankfully. Last time I actually did lose the majority of my papers. So I'm happy to say this time that did not happen. So, okay, I'm going to stop share and get into this week's post for you. Okay, so let me get up here so I can read. This is why you'll love Florastor, Saccharomyces Boulardii. Understanding Florastor and Saccharomyces Boulardii, CNCM I-745, the history, effectiveness, and alternatives. Saccharomyces Boulardii, marketed widely under the brand name Florastor, is one of the most researched probiotic yeasts in the world. Excuse me. Unlike typical, very cool in here today. Unlike typical probiotic bacteria, Saccharomyces boulardii is a non-pathogenic yeast with unique properties that make it effective for supporting digestive health. And that's true. Yeasts do work differently, and friendly yeasts are actually great for you. And you only get actually very few in kefir, as it depends on the kefir. If you have kefir grains, you're probably going to get a lot more than if friendly yeast than you would if you buy store-bought kefir. So that's why I'm saying that there are tons of friendly yeasts. And it makes it effective for supporting digestive health. Its history, function, and how it compares to other forms of S. boulardii offer important insights for anyone seeking reliable probiotic options. The discovery of Saccharomyces boulardii dates back to 1923, when French microbiologist Henry Bouillard traveled to Southeast Asia during a cholera outbreak. He observed that locals consuming tea made from lychee and mangosteen peels experienced fewer digestive symptoms. Upon investigation, and this is one more good reason why you eat whole fruit like apples, because underneath the peel is where there is a lot of good stuff. Anyway, upon investigation, Boulardii isolated a yeast strain from the fruit skins, naming it Saccharomyces boulardii in his own honor. Decades later, the specific strain CNCM I-745 was registered in the French National Collection of Microorganism Cultures to ensure genetic stability and reproducibility. Florastor became the commercial name for this strain and remains a leader in probiotic yeast supplementation today. And actually, I think possibly the second most studied probiotic is probably VSL. And then after that, I would probably guess L-reuteri or Bifido. Its key benefits include supporting gut flora balance, preventing antibiotic-associated diarrhea, and reducing symptoms of gastrointestinal disorders such as irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, and inflammatory bowel disease, IBD. It's also, okay, I'm going to read that here. While S. boulardii is the species name, not all products are identical. Research consistently emphasizes that strain specificity matters. The CNCM I-745 strain used in Florastor has been extensively studied in clinical trials, showing consistent efficacy for preventing antibiotic-associated diarrhea, treating Clostridium difficile infections, and reducing the duration of acute diarrhea in children and adults. And I believe that's possibly rotavirus. So I have seen a lot of reviews that people said that their doctor prescribed it. Now, whether they just mean recommended or actually prescribed, I'm not sure. But possibly some people can get it prescribed. So generic or off-brand S. boulardii supplements may claim to offer the same benefits, but unless they specifically identify CNCM I-745 improved genetic stability. Now there could be other patented S. boulardii strains, so you could possibly look to ensure that it actually has a number, even though it might not be CNCM I-745, you would know that it would be the closest in similarity. So their stability effectiveness could vary if they don't have a patent number. And this is one of the few times I would actually be pro-patenting microbes, which generally I'm not, because every time someone would use that brand, actually they probably couldn't use that brand except in Florastor. But when someone patents a microbe, anyone who uses that microbe has to pay royalties, is my understanding. So I am not for that, because it's probably not anything special about the microbe. It's just a proprietary method for ensuring that it's stable and has genetic stability. So differences in cultivation methods, storage, and even packaging can impact the viability and performance of probiotic yeast products. I keep mine in the fridge. You should keep it in the fridge. I keep all probiotics in the fridge, even if you don't have to. It just extends their shelf life. So how it works, and this is the good part. Unlike bacteria-based probiotics, S. boulardii is naturally resistant to antibiotics, making it ideal during or after antibiotic treatment, and it works by several mechanisms. It inhibits the binding of pathogens to intestinal walls. It neutralizes bacterial toxins, and some of these toxins from bad gut bacteria can be pretty lethal or dangerous or just make you feel really bad. It modulates the immune responses to reduce inflammation, and it promotes the production of secretory IgA, a key immune system antibody. And IgA deficiency is actually the most common immune deficiency. And especially in some gut conditions, it can be more prevalent. So these actions help restore gut homeostasis and prevent pathogen overgrowth and support intestinal barrier function. So it can really help you eliminate a lot of bad things. So that's one good reason why you might want to consider it before you begin natural oral immune therapy to get rid of all the bad, or just in general, if you've had a spout of eating too many processed foods, if you recently had a gut issue, some kind of stomach flu or something like that, or just something you ate, or if you have any of the conditions that it's normally prescribed for, and that would be C. diff and other intestinal infections, IBS and IBD, or if you've been on chemo or antibiotics. So Florastor Saccharomyces Boulardii CNCM I-745 represents a gold standard in probiotic yeast therapy, backed by decades of research. While other forms of S. boulardii exist, and you can try this out for yourself if you want. Test them against each other, and if you find another one that seems to work as well, then of course purchase whichever one you prefer. So, but anyway, not all of them are created equally, and consumers should prioritize clinically studied strains to ensure the best results. And that's one more other reason why I am not against making your own yogurt, which we do when we have time and things like that, but not against making your own kefir or anything like that. But the ones that are on the shelf generally have been studied, or at the very least to be well tolerated. So, and when you're starting out and you're introducing new bacteria, any new bacteria, aside from probably bifido, which is an infant colonizer, you might find it more gentle to stick with brands that are on the shelf in yogurt and kefir and things like that, just because they're generally well tolerated because they're on the shelf. So as the understanding of gut health deepens, choosing probiotic products based on strain specificity and scientific evidence becomes increasingly important for optimal digestive and immune support. And this is just one reason where that happens to be true, because cholera and C. diff and other hospital-acquired forms of diarrhea are extremely dangerous and detrimental. So it's a good thing that somebody did notice this and did decide to decided to make the discovery into an clinically researched probiotic so that it would so that more doctors could either prescribe or recommend it for those types of patients. So that's just one example. VSL is another one, and I'm sure there are many more on the way because this is now becoming very pertinent to determine what actually makes a healthy microbiota. So I'm sure that they are going to want to narrow down that list in order to be able to prescribe more probiotics that actually ensures certain results. Okay, everyone, so that's why I believe you'll love Florastor, and personally, I did notice a personal difference, even though I wasn't suffering any real gut issues. I just thought, well, something must have been going on because this is actually the first time I actually noticed that something was different after taking it. So that's about it for this week, and I'll see you next time. And thanks so much for your time. You have a great day and a great week. Bye.